sign by David. No, we can get started. I got 1 minute. Very good. Alright. We're going to get started after technical difficulties we handled. Okay, we'll just ask somebody else in for a check. Alright. Kids, all I'm going to ask you is you guys can play around, just don't bounce the ball. Okay? Just don't bounce the ball, no bouncing the ball. That's it. You guys can play around, just don't bounce the ball. Huh? Alright. Okay, we're good? Alright. Thank you everyone for coming and for being on time. I appreciate it. This is our annual tournament. We had one last year. We kind of upgraded the whole setup. I was practically yelling the whole 2 hours last year, so we got a ring system going on. Everybody signed in, yes? Okay, so over there by the sign in, actually tell you there's a piece of paper for you guys to, just for notes. If I say something or go over something that you guys don't want to brush on later, there's going to be time at the end for questions. Until then, we're just going to keep it rolling. So just write down any topics or something that I said that you guys want to talk about after. If you guys don't want to say anything, everybody that's fine, we can talk after this. The whole thing is done on the side. Alright? But as everybody else is getting settled, all girls, new faces, old faces, I'll briefly introduce myself. I'm pretty sure I've met everybody. But I'm Mine, Coach Mine, Ashley and I, we created this team back in 2023. You can call me the president, the coach, whatever, but at the end of the day, this is our team. We have a lot of help, we have a lot of kids, and I just want to start by saying thank you to everybody. You know, I have faces like Brian, Kendall, Gary, guys, and you've done the very beginning, so I really appreciate it. But yeah, you mentioned the little piece of paper, but I will formally introduce myself. My name is Mike Musa, born and raised here in New York. I played basketball my entire life. I've been around basketball my entire life. My mom guys, they had their own team. My oldest son plays for Yale High School. I helped coach the JV team along with Jared. Our middle boy, we call him the prospect, is basically just collecting gold. Right? He's a 5-time Milwaukee champion for the fourth grade division, and Tyson also is getting involved in basketball. So our life practically revolves around basketball. Alright, so I may not seem like it, but I know what I'm doing. Right? Maybe at times where I look like the lost cause. I know what I'm doing. And I appreciate you guys having faith in me and my coaches. So really from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys. Especially the ones that's been here with us since the very first practice in 2023. Thank you guys for your guys' ongoing support. Tonight's meeting will cover the divisions. We have new divisions that we're going to introduce. We have a few kids that are aging out, and I don't want kids moving away. I'd rather keep them in-house or introducing new divisions. We'll also be talking about, we're going over the Lil Andrews vision, right? What I expect from parents, players, coaches, and just in general as a whole. Alright? We're also going to go over the million expectations. It wasn't a big thing last year when we had this meeting, but over this last year, we really realized that commitment needs to be a priority, not only for us, but for the kids and for the parents as well. We'll be going over communication, which will go hand in hand with commitment, what you parents can expect from us coaches, and what us coaches expect from you parents and from the kids. And this year, we are running the mini season. So for those that are new to the season, mini season is basically our NBA season, right? It's a course of 2 months where every week we have a game with different teams. It's always going to be at Andrews. It's going to be, I'll go into more detail later on, but it's going to be from 4 to 6 o'clock every Tuesday, Thursday, 4 to 6 on Thursday for the 6 game. And this year is going to be our first time that we're going to run it. So we're going to be running the entire season, and at the end of the season, we're going to have a tournament. That's going to also be our first tournament ever. So there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to that end, and I'm going to expect everybody to at least help out. I'm not saying you guys got to do some bombs, but just assist the most you guys can when the time comes. Before we get started, first of all, when I mention names, you guys know the name and thanks to my coaches. So, like I said, I'm Coach Ryan. I coach the LA team that we'll go over later on. I coach Brian Bisano. Brian, like I said, has been in Sesame Nico. We're at our very, very first practice back in 2023. He was also one of my original coaches along with me to help me out. Very appreciate he's the guy with like, a question or something that's bothering me, because Ryan is one that won't tell me he's not a yes man. Right? If I feel like I'm wrong somewhere, I'll call Ryan, bring him my input, and he'll tell me if I'm right or wrong. He's not just going to agree with me. So I really confide in Ryan, and that's what we have. Kendall Pan. Kendall, like I said, was one of the originals there. He was also one of my original coaches that's been helping me out. His son Vincent plays on the LA team. It's Kaya and Luca plays on the LA team. And Kaya is on the 60 team. I have Jared Filter. He's my coach on the side in high school. His brother also plays playing in the under-10 division. I've known Jared way before we even had this team. So they're an amazing family, and we're very, very blessed to have been part of the coaching squad. Dane Conto, he's a new parent, but also his daughter. She also plays on the LA team in East State. But Dane is a very, very, very smart, technical, clinical player. And for the 8U developing and transitioning team, he's going to do wonders with that team. I've seen a lot of coaches. It's just his vision and the way he sees and thinks of basketball. It's going to be a real pleasure for the kids to have that experience with him. James Matulana, he was also one of the original coaches that I had last year. James, I grew up with him. He was my classmate, played against him, and last year when we had him coming up and we had 60 hours, everyone was doing things. Saved me and he took the reins for 60 last year. And really, I don't know how I would have done it without Mr. James. Thank you all very much. And I'll call it and do for this team and for me. I really appreciate it. We have Holly. I'm not even going to try to pronounce Holly's last name. But Holly's daughter is Daisy. She's playing on the development team. He's a helper. He's going to be helping coordinating all the regions, helping out where he can. David, if I didn't say, is Lockdale's dad. He's also one of my AU coaches. His son's Lockdale, also plays on the AU team. Coach David, I got to tell you about Coach David. Coach David never did play basketball. Not once. He's spoken shit. But Coach David stuck one Muhammad and Lockdale wanted to play basketball, so he fully invested into the sport. And he learned everything from scratch. He never did how to play, never did how to do anything. Learning that, he's become enthusiastic and to a lot of kids that are easy, so David is working, I think. David is working. The time he wasn't able to do it, but I appreciate all my coaches. And we have 2 new coaches for the 6U. Because James is moving up to the 8U development team, we have to bring up 260, landscape corner and Brandon corner. So, Uncle Lance was coaching while I was playing in this program. Coached for a lot of coaches and coached very competitive teams. So, I put the coach with Lance and train with the 6U. The 6U, I don't, and none of my coaches, I would be confident going out of state and making this team and these coaches has. I trust these guys, and I think you guys do as well. But Coach Lance is very knowledgeable. He used to work with the younger coach, and I think there will be a really better coach to help out with the 6U. And Coach Brandon is his son. Coach Brandon has featured Braylon and David that play on the 6U team. So when you go through the division, when you say Coach Lance, Coach Brandon, you guys know now you're not familiar with what is that. So when we go into it, that will be the coaches that we discuss. There's rosters up there. Did everyone take pictures of their roster? Of where the players. So there's rosters up there on the left side. If you guys want to go over there and take pictures, you don't have to do it now, but just so that we get into the divisions, you guys can kind of follow along a little bit. And if the touch to the season. Last year, we were balancing kids up to the moving down this. Whatever's on that roster, we're locking kids in. No people are going to be looking at that much stuff. You guys are having a good chance. You guys have bouncing all over the team. It's very... I think it's just a difference. Oh, it's better than that. So if you guys don't have a picture of the roster, you don't have to get it now. Just get it before you leave. Because you guys should be in the right team. You let everybody know your team. Everybody should be on the right team. If you see that your child's name doesn't match the roster or the team that you're in, go ahead and let Ashley know that she can help assist in getting you on the right team. Because everybody's practices is going to be different. And we don't want kids going to the wrong practice. Instead of wasting time in practice. Alright, let's go up. We'll get this thing over here. LA Vision. So, when we started this team in 2023, prior to even thinking about making a team, we went to like 4 or 5 different teams around the world, asking for guys to play basketball. I didn't want to coach, I had my own school days and work and stuff. So when we went around asking teams that, hey, you can take on our 5-year. Now these coaches that I went to, I've known pretty much my whole life. So their opinion has been an easier thing for me. I thought, but this sports, Nobody wanted to take this. And they say, oh, their roster is full and this. I think it's because he had no experience. That was my mindset. And when we came home, I got discouraged and I was going to ask him, he said, yes. No, like, how is it that we can have that different team? Just get your take on this. Right? So, that night, we're doing that. And I told you we were lucky. Ashley wasn't knowing nothing about basketball. I had to explain to her what 2 points and 3 points was. It was to that point. But, you know, having had a losing partner, when I didn't have an idea, it was just like, yeah, let's do it. And she just put that moving on the way. So, when we made Lil Andrews, we agreed, Ashley and I, that we were going to do that optic. That when every team turns away a kid, we'll do that one to make it happen. So yeah, we can do a good job. Right? Because we don't want other parents having to deal with that same feelings that we had in our high school team. So, whenever we had such a bad issue last year, turning away kids, our 6U had 16 players, and our 8U had 14. Right? So, I have a problem turning away kids. I don't like doing it because who knows, you know, the kid that turns away can be the next big thing in Europe. Right? Or to be the last resort. You know, the parents' last resort to their kids into a sport, and I just turn them away with give them a chance. So we agree that we will always at least try and accommodate. Even if we have to make another team, say for 6, we will make another team. We just don't want that discouraged, not to check out. Because if they don't start now at this age of 5 or 6, they're already, kids are so much more advanced than someone starting in 18, starting in 10. So if you can get them in from an early age to blah, blah, blah. Alright, so along with that, I shared my vision a few times with some of my coaches. Just trying to, I don't want to learn, but sculpt kids into our slogan, bothersm. So, but even though they choose to say no, they can still take away some of the things that we try to instill in them every time they come to practice, right? Respect. Trying to respect that they can take them after the basketball. Respecting coaches, respecting themselves. Motivation is big in basketball, right? They want to do that outside. Motivation to do anything, I really want to get a stat math test next week. I gotta study hard. Those are things that they can transition into their life. Attentiveness. Eyes and ears, coaches, right? We're big on that, eyes and ears. So if the child can be attentive at basketball practice, school should be no problem. Right? So, along with attentiveness and determination, having these kids always driven, ready to achieve something. We like to, set goals before games goals, and at least in the age we do. Like keeping these kids determined, motivated, to want to succeed for something. And to win and lose is also a very big that we also learn that when you win, that winning is the outcome of your hard work and dedication you put in that practice, right? Those extra shots you put up, those extra dribbling time you do at home. So that all progresses and helps you win. Keep learning how to win, you also need to learn how to lose, right? So with losing, you take lessons from your losses. You tell that to kids all the time, it's a quick cost. What do we need to work on doing, next time? With all these things that we try to teach at practice and preach at practice, we can use in everyday life to teach continue basketball. So that is also always in our vision, what we want to be and what we stand for. This is more for the gameplay area, but in each division, I want the kids to be ready to move up. So kids that are in 6th, I want them ready, or at least semi-ready to move up to the next level. Just to keep everything flowing, we don't have enough minutes in the day to catch up. If your child is in a year and a half to 6U, and then they come to me at 8U, and they're still, similar to what they were when they entered, then there was a failure on our part. That's okay, not getting the best. We want to have these kids ready to progress. And also a big thing to us is that parents, players, games, when you guys wear represent You guys are grand students. So if you go and get wild with a parent, just know that, yeah, that's between you and the parent, but it also puts a look on us. So just please be mindful, everything can be positive or negative, that you guys are a representation of us and our brand. Okay? So with the vision out of the way, we're going to talk about commitment. We had a big issue with commitment last year. We had kids on the racing roster where they don't come to practice 4 or 5 months, right? And then Ashley puts a little thing in teammates, hey, we put a scrimmage next week, we can attend. Just what happened, that child that hasn't been coming back, oh, we can attend. And they'll come to practice the week before and expect to play. Alright, I'm going to limit the child has adequate play time. Okay, so I'm not going to have a 16 that is 16 kids on the roster because it's not fair to all the kids that want to play. They're not going to have adequate play time. Okay, so this year we're going to take steps in making sure everybody's committed. I understand some players are real athletes, and we're always going accepting and okay with it. It's just that when it comes time for, like, for example, the season, we need to choose the sport. Because if we choose, say baseball, right, then I'm going to have to find a kid that wants to play basketball that I can around the middle of the season. And so it's just, it's something that you can talk to with the kid at home. How do you like basketball? Do you see yourself playing basketball this season? Right, so it's kind of hesitation here that it is time for you guys come and talk to us and see what we can do to help you guys out. Just don't leave us hanging. It's going to go into communication with afterwards, but just communicate with us and everything is fine. I don't see it really being a big problem at this point with parents and kids now, but it was an issue last year and it's the kind of balance and everything. So please ask yourself, ask your child, are you going to be able to keep up with everything that we have planned with this year, this new season coming up. I just want to briefly, I'm going to keep the roster smaller by the all the kids that is on the team currently are going to have time. I don't know how James did it, but there's roughly 16 kids in a game last year. 16 kids. I think we should do it at 5, right? James had such a good awareness of who was in, how long they were in, and who just in general, he was able to rotate those 16 kids well, and when they come back to the drum, and why do you think I can play time? So, I don't want that to be strong enough when we coaches for 60, so I'm not going to make the roster as what we have now, 60 parents, and what we're going to stick with. Alright? So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just please stay committed, if not, just communicate with us. No, I talked about it after. There's a lot. After we put all those at practice, right, everybody goes home, you guys continue on to night. We're non-stop thinking about this team. Right? After practice, we brainstorm, what are we going to do this week? What's the child, this child, needing to, it's this, this week. Good. So, we talk about it all the time. One thing I see afterwards so frustrated with is communication. Communication is not only with the team, right? With you guys married, with you guys parents, you guys teachers. Communication over here less. Alright, so please communicate with us. If your child is not feeling the play, kind of make it practice. It takes 5 seconds going into the play, blah, 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 blah. Okay, everybody, 5 seconds to just let us know. We don't want you to leave because before practice, I asked the time, who's coming today? Who's coming today? 4 o'clock comes, I want to start practice, and if we're doing that, who's it on?
That's a good. Yeah. So people communicating with us, not even us, just Ashley. Do not communicate anything to me, because I will tell you what's not to Ashley. So save your breath, let's go straight to the source. Please. Okay? So another thing that I seen Ashley do, and I told her I don't want her doing anymore, is she's choosing down parents. Right? So when we put out, hey, there's going to be a scrimmage, right, next week, who's available to come? If Ashley looks at the team reach and says, yes, oh, this person did message, I saw her going out of the way next week, parents saying, hey, are you coming, are you available? Right? It's not her job. She makes this team go round, right? So I'm not adding anything extra that I don't have with her. So please stay up with the team job. The team job is absolutely amazing. Alright? Anything you guys have questions about, Ashley's usually on it, she'll have it in the team job. And with her communicating to all of the parents, we expect the same thing that you guys communicating with her. Okay, so just please stay on top of it. If you forget, that's fine. But for the most part, please stay on top of the team job. But, I don't want to say we're going to do a strike system, but it got to a point last year that I really didn't want to do a strike system. Right? If you go a whole week without saying anything in the team chat, it just shows nothing different. Right? They're always on team, right? Looking, they have a question, they're a person. So there's really no reason why you guys need to look briefly at communicating. I don't understand it. Ashley doesn't understand it. So just please keep communicating towards us in the chat. Another thing, coaches, so much coaches, right? Parents, do not ask your coaches for any information. That is not are here to coach. That's it. We're not here to tell you, yeah, there's practice next week, or no, there's a game next week, right? It's not their job. Don't ask them anything. If you guys want to find out, go to ask them. I don't want coaches, please don't be giving out any information about anything. Just go ahead and ask after if you guys have any questions at all. That's pretty much it. Just please communicate. I don't want to have to implement a straight system or remove a child because you guys don't communicate. Just communicate. Alright, so players and coaches, these are the expectations maybe that you guys can expect from us coaches and what us coaches expect from the players. Right? Everybody here, well, except for the new parents that are just joining, everybody was handled and signed a parent-player agreement. In that parent-player agreement is a list of all our rules. Rules are very similar to school. Anything you really do in school, don't do with us. Right? Don't disrespect the teachers, don't disrespect the coaches. You're not talking, you're not being spoken to, same thing here, right? We implement the same rules here. So, parents, just remind your kids, if you see them doing something, just remind them, hey, the rules, follow the rules, listen. Coaches, same thing, you guys know the rules. So if you guys are expecting anything, or if the kids are doing something not as something, you guys have full authority or need to make them run, or to correct them, right? Don't just let it continuously happen. Kids, they'll continue, you don't correct them, don't put a stop to it. So all my coaches have the authority to talk to your kids and say, hey, you're not listening today, you need to go sit down, go to your parents and have that conversation with your guys' parents. Okay? We don't have a real big issue with this group of parenting, but please don't sideline coach, right? You guys trust us every week with your kids, teaching your kids. When it comes to games, it's no different, right? We know what we're doing. If you see something that you think you can do better, then by all means you can try and move your team and pull it out of his head, right? But in the meantime, it's perfectly fine to encourage your kids, right? Good job. If you want to talk about something that you saw, talk about it after the game. Don't be right in the game. Because just naturally, a child will listen to their parent before the coach, and I don't want that. Alright, so just keep sideline coaching to a minimum. If you do something that your child is not doing or should have done, talk about it after the game. Please don't be shouting it during the game. Like I said, they have the authority to send kids home. So if you bring your child to practice, and you know they're not having a bad day, I'm not having my coach spend 15 minutes with your child trying to calm them down. I'm just going to send your child home. if we don't have time for it, we have 2 hours to try cramming a week's worth of practice, right? So if you feel like your child is not having a good day, just please keep them home. They'll always be at next practice. Just let us know, okay, so much for wasn't having a good day today in school. I'm going to keep them home. That's fine. We will send your child that may not be playing at practice. I want to make this part very, 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 very crystal clear. Lil Andrews has a zero tolerance for bullying, right? And it could be deliberately, it doesn't need to be physical bullying, it could be verbal bullying, you know, emotional bullying, whatever it may be, whatever zero tolerance. I hear Coach Ashley hears it directly, because I'm not even going to read the story. If one of us hears it, I'm not going to have the child self-reprimand. I'm not going to do that. Kids are sensitive nowadays. We all know how the world goes now, right? Kids like the whole thing. I don't want to be, you know, that start of a child's future with, you know, mental, I don't want to say illness, but mental health, right? So, we have a zero tolerance for bullying. Physical, emotional, verbal, everybody started somewhere. Okay? There's no reason why a child should say, you know, oh, so-and-so, you suck, you shouldn't be playing basketball. That's not your child's job to make that determination, right? So if you guys hear them say that, or, you know, if they come in the car and they say, Mom, you know, so-and-so sucks, please put the correction to your knowledge that, you know what, y'all started from somewhere. Please don't do that, don't say that to them, you know, help them. You see a child that needs help, have your child go and help them, right? Zero tolerance for bullying, I'm not going to have it, alright? Coaches, very important. You guys already, most of you guys already all know this, but I went from 2 coaches last year to 9, right? So with those 9 coaches, I spread them among all the divisions to help your child, your kids out, okay? But when we get into this part, I'm not saying you guys are limited to your guys' roster. If you guys see a roster and you say, oh, you know, right, for example, I'm using an example, that, oh, your assistant coach for ABOV, and it's only that. It's not that. I'm going to have to ask you to help sometimes with developing, right? All coaches need to understand. I'm going to have to flow. If I see that, you know, James needs help, I'm going to say, hey, go help James on the developing side. So whatever is said on that roster is not locked to that. Okay, so please, it's just a title. Okay, just for the sake of the roster, it's just a title. This is it. Okay, so coaches, they all have their own, you know, maybe they have their own vision of how they want their team to be run, right? And that's fine. Okay, but I have a way that I want this team to be run and how I want them to perform. So if your vision and my vision are the total opposites, and we cannot come to an agreement or a compromise, then I'm just going to have not be a coach, because you need to be able to work on top of what I expect from these kids. Alright, so at the end of the day, right, even though I put, you know, the lines part of 60 or Jared and David part of 10, this is still our team. Okay? Whatever I say goes. So if you say, hey, you know what? I think we should have practices this day, I'm going to be like, no. Right? That being said, you can have and want whatever you like, that's fine. But at the end of the day, it will work. I'll explain to you why. It's up to you if you want to get upset about it or not, but at the end of the day, I have a vision of what I want this team to be, and that's it, right? So I appreciate you guys, you know, concerns and insights. You guys are more than welcome to bring it up to me. That's fine. And please don't take it personally if I shoot it down. It just won't vibe with what I'm trying to do. Right? So just directly. So you can compromise somewhere. So please, if we talk about something and it doesn't work out, don't take it personally, right? It's not that I don't like your idea, it's just not what I have in mind. And I thought we will explain it to you when we talk. Alright, so with the 6U, with 10U, with 8U, James, right? Coach the kids the way you guys want to coach. I don't have a curriculum that I need you guys to follow, right? It's just all that. But in a game where the only time I'm going to bother you guys is if we're in a game and and I see everybody else getting playtime and one kid doesn't, I'm going to address you on that. I'm not going to be that shadow on your bench telling you why you're not doing this, why you're not doing that. I trust each and every one of you guys to make you guys own decisions on how to run it. I tell you guys what I want. You guys fill that void. And unless it's something totally out of the blue, or a parent comes up and addresses me, hey, you know, my kid only played for 30 seconds in the first half. I will bring that to your attention and tell you why you're not playing that game. Other than that, you guys have full range to do, you know, what you guys want, how you guys want to do your guys' practice. Right? I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to do that shot. I'm not going to, you don't have to worry about me. If you guys have questions, you guys can bring it to my attention. Other than that, run it the way you guys want to run it. I think we briefly talked about this last year, but coaches, all my coaches have kids that play on this team, right? So when we're at practice, I don't want them calling me dad. I don't want them calling me uncle or papa, right? It's part of the respect factor. So please, if you guys have a child that is saying, hey dad, you know, can we do this, I need you guys to please put a stop to it and say, hey, no, we're at practice, I'm coach. This is to separate the family, household, you know, life to basketball. It's part of the mutual respect. If I have a kid, you know, saying, oh, you know, hey dad, why can't we do this? And it so happened that maybe they think you said your legs are sore, but they see you sitting on the kid and you're like, oh, you know, maybe why? Because it's your dad, that's why you're not being able to run, you know. So please keep it totally formal when you guys are at practice. Please put a stop to it. Even if it's Tyson doesn't do it still, it's fine, you know. No, it's coach, please ask you guys to just do the same. And this should go without saying, the 6U division, like I said, has been revamped because we have 5 kids that are moving up in that 6U division into the 8U. So last year this hurt and now, and they developed fundamentals throughout the season. I'm more than happy with that accomplishment in my book. I want them to learn the basics of basketball, passing, shooting, dribbling, so when they come to the 8U level, they're not so much double dribbling runs with the ball. I want them to be ready. Coach Lance, I trust you, you know, I know that you'll be able to take that role in the game. So that's my vision moving up in 6 years, coming up to 8 years, how to get ready fundamentally, and, you know, more or less technically sound very. Practices will be much stricter, right? Because when you start transitioning to 8 years, it becomes a more competitive game. Because all the things you can develop, next level is 10 years. Okay, so practices will be much stricter, but more organized. It's not just like everybody does everything in a group. You know, unfortunately, we have good people in charge and doing something. So it's those types of practices that it's going to be completely separate from 6U. Alright, so it's not going to be super competitive like the 8U team is, but I will expect those games to kind of, you know, put a little bit more pressure on the kids wanting to win. It's not so much go out there and have fun. It's going in there with a goal like, we're going to try and win this game, but it's totally fine if we lose. Alright? So, with Coach James, I'm going to expect that from the kids. And with that, it just means that practices are going to be tougher. Right? It's going to be more cardio. There's going to be a lot more running. There's going to be a lot more other stuff that is completely different from 6U. So, if you guys see a change in the practice, you know, the whole practice thing, I don't even know what to call it, but if you see a difference, that is the reason why. Because they're moving up, practices will be different because they expect more from the kids in the 8U division. Okay, another thing that we need a little bit more hard on is attendance for 8U. We're, you know, trying to get them responsible, so attendance will affect their time. It doesn't mean that if you don't come back to your kid will not play. I have to play with child. It's part of the counting rules that every child needs to play. But the amount of play time your child will get will be strongly factored in on the attendance. So if your child doesn't come to practice, say, a month, and then you have a game the following week, please don't expect your child to play as much as the child that's been coming for the previous one. Okay? It's just about having the kids ready to take the next step up. Okay, so that is actually something from 6U. Attendance wasn't big. James was real good at rotating everybody. 8U is not going to be okay, LA Elite. So LA Elite is coached by myself, Coach Brian, and Coach Kendall. I think I keep in the original coaches with this team. This is our team. I brag about it all the time, and I don't know about it. We're the best team on the island. Right? 5-on-5, I'm proud of it, and I say it, I wear it proudly. We have the best team on this island. And this is the elite team. So this is the team where every time we go into a game, into a tournament, our goal is to win. Right? We don't even think about losing, we're always focused on winning. And Brian, Kendall, all my other coaches can attest that practices are strict. I'm super hard on the kids. Right? It's never to a point where I'm putting them down, but I'm harder on the kids than, for example, James would be on top of the development team. Because these kids can handle it, and they need that motivation to keep them going. Right? So this elite team is also going to be a traveling team. For the first time in 2 years, we're going to be traveling off island to go compete on Oahu. We go to Oahu for IMO. And this will be the team that I take with me along with all the coaches to go compete up in Oahu. It's not for everybody, right? A lot of kids just aren't ready yet, skill level wise or experience wise to be on the 8 levels. Nothing personal. It's just these bunch of kids on the elite team. They have the experience. Most of them have been for the past 2 years. Alright, so when we travel to places like Oahu, or not even Oahu, so the tournament in Portland, Kahala, Kauai, where we're limited on team availability, I'm going to take 160 and I'm going to take an 80 team. This will be the 80 team. So when you say, hey, how come my kid's not playing? That's why. Any other tournament, I would make sure that I put in 30 teams and I'll split 60 so there'll be 260 teams. Okay, but if you see on social media or TV chat that every week specific team are playing this weekend or the scrimmage, this will be the team that we enter in the competitive game. Alright, so if you guys have more questions about that, you can feel free to ask me. But like I said, the team that is on that roster, I'm going to keep the chemistry, good chemistry with that team, and that team is locked for the season. And I don't have any, that's another thing with the 80 elite team. Everybody on the team comes to practice. I can count on one hand how much practices they missed in the last 6 months. Right? If I tell the elite team, hey, we have practice tomorrow, everybody will be there. Right? They're committed for a week, and that also helped me base my decision on placing these kids on this team. So I don't have to say it, but attendance is very highly monitored. We're halfway through. I'm going to take a break because I want to take a break. You guys can go ahead and take a break. I think it's the hospital talking then. But so what time is it? Yeah, go ahead and take a break. We're having for another hour. We'll be done for another hour. You guys can go ahead and drink water, go outside. We'll come back in like 15 minutes.
Okay. Can everybody please make their way back to the seat? The position has completed. I'm going to just slam through this. I know everybody's hot. I'm hot. Get everybody going home. You want to do another rest? Kids, settle down, please. I want to get everyone down for practice. Okay. Is everybody seated? Okay. We'll get this. Guys, can you turn on that light? Can you turn on that light on this? What? Probably the one that's switched off. Okay, so we talked about 6U, we talked about 8U, we're going to go ahead and talk about 10U. 10U is a new division we're adding. I have 4 kids that are ineligible or going to be ineligible for 8U, and instead of me sending them away and say, hey, sorry, thank you for all your artwork and dedication, but you gotta find another team, we're gonna make a 10U. So, we're basically making this 10U team just for those 4 kids, and now we're just filling in the blanks for everybody else. But, 10U, I asked Coach Jared and Coach David to help me specifically with 10U because they are the only ones that I know that have experience coaching older kids. Okay, so just for I'm pretty sure everybody has been around it, but anybody that hasn't organized basketball, 10U is the biggest jump in organized basketball. And I mean bigger than high school, working to high school, it's bigger than that, right? Because from 8U, they're shooting from 8-foot rim, they can double dribble, they can travel, there's no pressing, there's no stealing, no free throws, no inbounding, to 10U, where they move up to 10-foot, kids can press full court and half court, they can steal the ball, double dribble and travel is absolutely a no-go, right? And to where those kids that have a harder time transitioning, especially ones that maybe 6 to 8 was a struggle, this is the age group of 10 where kids usually get turned away from basketball. It's because they just cannot keep up or they cannot adjust to the new rules. So 10U, regardless of what anybody says, is the hardest division to transition, right? So I feel confident with the help of Jared and with David, with Coach David, that we can get these kids at least ready to compete in the 10 division. So when next year comes and they're fully 10, they'll be ready to go. Very well. So with the introduction of 10U, we had to get to the time. Right? Because Andrews did, as you guys know, across is 8 foot, and these kids cannot play 10-foot and shoot on 8-foot and they just hope for the best when they go on 8-foot. So we have to look for a dedicated gym for them to practice at, which we, through Ashley's wheeling and dealing, we got to get White Cubicle. So White Cubicle is recently renovated, it's now actually very beautiful. 10 practices will be done up there with you, right? So where they have a full court where we can practice, they'll have access to both 10-foot rims and not have to worry about shooting on more and adjusting the rim. Okay, so with the 10U division, I'm pretty sure I spoke to already representing players that I want to move up, but there will also be some 10U players that I would like to practice in 10U for the 10U season that I want to present. But that's basically it. Another thing with the 10U division, we're not taking any kids that are 9 going to 10. We're only accepting kids that are 8 turning 9. That way, this kid, they can play for the next year and a half, no chemistry, and we don't got to worry about this problem that we're having now where I got to make a division next year when they play, turn 11. So, another thing that I didn't even mention to JB is that JB ruled the 10 division for the last 2 years, right? Dominant over here on Big Island, I don't know why. So we're going to also be having him included in the practices because he knows the division inside and out. and I think he'll be able to assist a lot, okay, with us coaches on what we can do, what we can look for. So if you guys see that blonde hair kid on the team, he's not actually on the team, he's just helping. Okay, so don't be alarmed, don't really get that player on our team. He's just going to be helping us out during the practices. That's pretty much it for the Canyon team. There is a league for this as well. I will go over that with my team work. But practices on the updated team maturity, that will also practice time for days. So teammates have already practice days. I will just maybe go over it. I checked with Coach Lance. 6U and 6U will be Saturdays and Sundays. The time to check teammates, but I'm not going to relay that information. Just double check on the team what time the 6U practices. 6U is Saturdays and Sundays. The 8U developing and transitioning team will be on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. The Sunday will be at Andrews Gym from 10 to 12. The 8U Elite team will be on Tuesdays as well, Thursdays, and Sundays. The 8U Elite will practice 1 to 3 of the way through the 10U. 10U will be Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays. And then Dane's not here, but we also have, I don't know how many parents were okay with it, that's why we didn't include it. We also have this gym on Saturdays from 6 to 8. Right, so we didn't have enough time to ask everybody's opinion on it. If that's something you guys would be okay with. But we also have over here on Saturdays with, we ever want to practice. So we have this gym from 6 to 8. So coaches, if you guys like do runs, you can run an open gym on Saturdays 6 to 8. Well, you go right. So that's it for practice time. If you guys want more information on it, go ahead and go check the team chat. Okay, daily season. I mentioned it earlier, this is going to be the first year we run the season. This is the only season we have all year long, and Sean offered it to us earlier this year, and we thought that we'll do it. Because if we didn't take up on it, then the kids wouldn't have 8U and 6U season. So this will be the first year that we do this, and we'll probably do this from here on out. So at the end of the big season, like I mentioned again, we will have an end of season tournament. Okay? So the season is to start on September 16th. There's going to be a couple of meetings that Ashley and I will have to go to. Nobody else has to attend. It's just for us as the coordinators of the league that we have to attend. September 16th, the Tuesday, is going to be the first actual official start of the season. Please don't have schedule there. We have no idea how much teams are there yet. As soon as we find out the season schedule, we'll let everybody know. Okay, so for 8U, for parents, the 8U division, both developing and elite, will be on Tuesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to play for 2 hours. It means that between 4 and 6, they'll have a game in between them. Okay? The 6U division will be on Thursdays from 4 to 6. Again, it's not saying there's going to be 2 games for 2 hours long. It's just your team will be slotted between 4 and 6 o'clock. You guys will see you guys' full schedule when it comes out and we get a new shot. The season usually runs about a month and a half to 2 months. It'll probably be faster because we like it to run both towards the Andrews Gym instead of last year when we won one. So on Thursdays we'll have 2 games running at a time, same thing to 60. We'll try to work this season kind of banged out quickly. During the season we will have a concession stand that we'll have set up in the corner by where the booths are. Right now we have a drink stand right there for drinks, and we have Troy guys picking dots. So I mean, if you guys want to donate something, if you guys want to feel like you guys want to sell it a little bit, you guys can go to welcome. So that's something you guys can talk to Ashley about. But during the length of the season, we'll have a concession stand over there as well. So for 6U division, Brandon and Coach Lance, you guys are going to enter 2 teams into the season. So how you guys want to differentiate the teams is up to you, but James is going to coach one of those teams, and then you and Brandon will coach the other team. So with James' development team, those 5 kids, they're still eligible for the season.
So Preston, Risley, Vicente, Elijah, and Mason B. Simmons, you guys are going to play in those 6U and 8U. So, I don't know how they're working the schedule, but you guys will have games on Tuesdays and Thursdays. One will be 6U, one will be 8U. So, James, with that team, that's the only time you're going to be coaching 6U. After the season, you're done 6U already. It's just for this because you have those 5 kids that are going to coach them on Tuesdays. And you got to coach them on Thursdays. Alright? So, when the time comes, because there's only 5 kids, I want at least 7 on your roster. I'm going to borrow 2 kids from the 6U, whoever Coach Lance and Coach Brandon want to hand over for helping you guys out with the 6U. Alright? So, just briefly, there's not going to be no sport kept in 6U, right? No, it's not about winning, it's just about having fun. And because it's not going to be real competitive, I'm going to ask coaches if you guys can help me referee. Okay, you guys don't have to wear it almost straight out. It's not even serious like that. It's just calling out of bounds. Okay, so I guess Brad, Kendall, Jamie, maybe Rob can collaborate. See if it's going to take 1 week. Okay, and just help out with the 6U. Basically calling out of bounds, make sure they don't hurt each other. Okay, so it's very simple. It's not something that you gotta go in and study. Alright, it's just keeping order on the court, that's it. Okay, but yeah, so 6U, that's it. There's not gonna be no shooting, no free throws, no inbounds, no pressing. I have a list of all the rules that I can send to you guys if you guys want it. 8U division, same thing with 6U, we're going to 2 teams. We're going to have the 8U development team that goes into our coach, and we're going to enter our 8U. With the 8U this year, we're going to be keeping score. And I'll go into why we keep score a little later. But I'm going to ask parents if they can help run the board, the scoreboard, and also keep a book. So inside the book is a bunch of numbers. It's going to be intimidating, but all I want you guys to pay attention to is how much points a kid scores. That's it. So if you guys don't know how to do it, it's very simple. I ask you to help you guys basically push the button on the calculator. So we're going to have to get closer to like a volunteer sheet. If you like something like a volunteer sheet, or you want to do like a volunteer sheet, or you're just going to have something like that? Yeah, so as we get closer to it, we'll look more into it, but just a heads up, we're going to ask our parents to help volunteer with the scoreboard and the score sheet. 8U, we're gonna pay refs to do the game. So, 2 refs, I think we're going to have 1 ref on one court, 1 ref on the other court. That is going to be given to the entry fee for each team at the end for the season. The reason that we're keeping score for 8U is this is how we're going to do the bracket for our tournament. So 6U is just going to have a Super Saturday. At the end of the season, the very next weekend, we're going to do a tournament. Okay, it's going to be a Saturday and Sunday tournament. On Saturday, it's going to be a Super Saturday just for the 6U team. The tournament will only have the teams that played in the season. That Saturday will be just a Super Saturday for the 6U. They don't play on Sunday. For 8U, the way we're going to separate the teams is we're going to keep score because we're going to keep a win and loss record for each team. Okay, so for example, every week we go undefeated, we're going to be placed in 2A along with the next team that does second best, third best, and fourth best, so on and so forth, depending on what team we got. And then the teams that didn't do as well will be our B bracket. That will be the novice, more entry-level teams. That's how we're going to separate. Just so parents and coaches don't try and cheat like they did in 300 state race, entering big teams and B bracketers. That's not what we're about. We're going to keep it there. So how your team performs during the season is going to be the placement of the division in the season. Right? That's the reason why we're keeping score for that. The tournament will be a bracket style format, so any type of bracket, right? You have the line, it's going to be similar to that type of format. This is all things you guys don't need to know. I'm just saying just to kind of kill time. We'll get to it more later on, just letting everybody know who does understand. That's going to be the bracket for the tournament. Right? We have a regular number elimination bracket for the tournament, and on the
Saturday that the 8U plays, I'm gonna have one person keeping score for keeping stats for each team. We're gonna have an all-star game. Okay, so the way the all-star game is gonna work is however well we're gonna have two kids for each team. So say Lil Andrews, we have Mika and Latvia score the most points on Saturday. Those are gonna be the two kids that are selected for the all-star game. We're gonna do that for each team, and we're gonna have an also all-star game. I don't think it's ever been done that we have this, and it's gonna be the first time that kids will be able to play with, ultimate talent. Because usually Warriors has their talented player, Bears has their talented player, they never play together. I think it'll be a good little thing that the kids can do. But we're not gonna tell the kids that because we're not gonna want to promote all right? And say I'm gonna score the most points, I get chosen for all-star. Right? So that's the way we're gonna do an all-star game. I don't think it's ever been done now. We've talked to a lot of coaches, so it's gonna be awesome. Super fun. Just on the all-star game, the way we're gonna do the coaches is that the teams with the best record in the A bracket and B bracket, those coaches will be their coaches. So say if Bears have the best record in B bracket, Steve will be the coach for the one all-star team, and if we're number one, then I'll be the other coach for the other all-star team. And it doesn't matter who the team is, it's just how the place together on Saturday. So this will also, I feel, change the whole ideology going into the tournament on how coaches want to approach this, So it's not more or less pass. If you want to have a team that wants to win, they'll figure out ways to happen. This is just the way for us to keep everything super competitive. Because, like I said, I want our game to be able to compete with other high competitive teams. Trophies, we're going to buy medals for all the 6 teams, all the players 6 teams. For 8U though, we're only going to do the first, second place finishers, and each coach for the first, second place team will get a trophy. That's what my gut was doing. So with 8U season starting in September, it should be done by October. After 8U and 6U is completed, 10U season is going to start. So this is pretty awesome. This is the first time ever 10U is being run by the NBA. So the NBA has a branch, it's called Junior NBA. They have agreed to sponsor the entire season of the 10U. So just briefly talking with Mark, who's the coordinator, similar to what we're doing for the 10U, is that we're going to have an all-girls 10U team. They're going to have a novice division and a more advanced division. LA will enter a girls 10U team and an all-boys 10U team. So this has never been done. It's always been co-ed. It's never been separated like this. And what Mark said is that the kids that enter the league will have an actual NBA style jersey that is going to be reversible. So they'll have the NBA logo on it, the team name that they're going to put in, and it's going to be the kids with the team at the end. And I don't know what else Mark had in store, but I think he's going to have some pretty, I don't want to say popular, but some NBA associated players that have a hand in the NBA come talk to the kids. So it's going to be a super awesome experience. Unfortunately, it's just for the 10U, but it's going to be the first time for the 10U to actually have something like this. So for those that don't know, I always wanted to have an all-girls team. We did it before, it's just all the girls and super so team. So this would be our first time that we're going to actually have an all-girls team for the 10U division. So I'm very excited about that. And then I think we have enough boys now for to have the all-boys team. That will also be a first. We never had that before. So basketball is making steps in the right direction, that's basically it for the 10U season. Is there anything you want to touch upon? Okay, enough of my numbers. If anybody has any questions, or if you guys have a question and don't want to
say it out loud. We can talk after. No? There's no way. There's no way I would now go on for the last hour and a half. Nobody has a question. There's no way. Okay, but you know what? Maybe not right now, but if you guys do have something that comes to mind, you guys can call Ashley or later last week number if you guys want to talk about that. You guys can talk. Or you can talk about that practice. And that's another thing with the parents. I have an always door policy, right? I've never ever been so hey, folks, I thought you, nah, not right now. It's not a good time. I will talk to you guys. If you guys have something that you guys want to talk about, it'll be hopefully be confident that we're not too late for anybody. Well, maybe ask. There's things to ask. But I won't use your child's name if you say that, hey, my child was somebody would be my child. I will address the team. I would never use your child's name and say, hey, so and so came up to me and told me that, so and so was making fun of them or whatever the case may be. So please don't hesitate to come and talk to me. If you guys say, hey, I don't want to do it out there, if you guys want me to address it, I will address it. But you guys can come and talk to me and be confident. And you guys don't gotta be shaking. You guys can just, even if you want to say, hey, it's just screwing up, then I'm fine if you can talk about it, Say, why are you yelling at my kids and like that? I've had a parent do that too. Like, we ended up laughing about it. It was hard on his child. I wanted to learn. She came out, it was crazy, but we talked about it. That's how we get over it, and I want everybody to stick around, right? If you feel like I'm doing something wrong, you don't address it. That's just going to stay inside, and it's always going to be in the back of your mind. So now every little thing that I do, that comes back in my mind, right? So if there's ever something you guys want to talk about, please, feel free. I mean, I'm not going to do a therapy session or nothing, right? But I'm more than happy to talk to you guys. I respect you guys as much as not more than you guys respect. Okay, so if there's ever a concern about anything at all, please feel free to sure, you guys have no questions. Nothing at all. You guys are okay with the roster. Everybody's 98. Yeah. The new parents, thank you guys for picking up. We're happy to see that. I think that you guys are as you guys seen at the English Premier, we're real strong. Wherever we move, when we go to games, we're all cool. Everybody's so supportive. Right? And right now, I can say only that having the right parents is just as important as having the right players. Right? I have one parent that is just toxic. It's just a bad experience for everybody. So thank you guys for all being amazing parents and for them after a better bunch of parents and coaches and kids. I love all you guys do. I will do anything. I'll tell you this right now. If I'm coaching your kid, I will go out and see for your kid. Alright, so you guys don't even know how to do it. I'll probably be the one. Like there was the tournament that we had at Cornell where we were hacking on kids. I was getting wild, man. So when you guys trust me, that's it. Right? I will always defend your child, regardless if they're right or wrong. Alright, I will always stick up for them and even you guys. Alright, so I'm not saying go and start trouble. But if trouble comes around the time, you guys will be okay. So that's just the support I have for you guys. Okay. So if there's no questions, I appreciate you guys listening to Babylon. Don't worry, you guys don't have to do this for another year. Okay. But I think I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna talk about the race season and so you guys have to listen to this one more time. But again, if you guys go home, sleep on it, if you guys come up with anything, please feel free to let me know. So, just thank you guys for following my heart, for everything you guys do for the kids. And I appreciate you guys all listening. So, thank you very much for being with me. And I will still see you at practice tomorrow, but I'll do that practice one. I'll see you like I really should. For friends, we'll see you all 60 tomorrow at practice. Alright, thank you guys, I appreciate it.